Welcome back, punters, to another episode of the Rapid Fire Show. Of course, John Walter from racingwatch.com.au joins us, as does Jason Azzopardi from azzopardi.com.au. Is that right?
From Planet Mars.
Self-fucking employed.
That'll be the day.
Indeed. Okay, so we're going to cover the Lightning Stakes in Melbourne, and we might actually do that first. And then we've got a few races in Sydney to do: Silver Slipper, Millie Fox, and the Hobartville. So let's get into the Lightning and talk about that. Short price favourite, Nature Strip, of course. John, what around about the evens, is it?
Yeah, so $2.10. It's getting out $2.20, $2.25 about now that I've broadened my horizons on what prices I'm looking at here. Coolangatta, $6.50, $7 around, $9 Marabai, $12 Bella Nipotina, $13 Rockin' Horse, $12 I Wish I Win, $18 Baller, and it's 25 to 1 plus the rest. Oh, sorry, Bonus Notches I've missed there, $15.
Jason, you may as well start us off here, actually.
I'll start. Well, it's a hard week to do a show because there's a lot of shorties, and you can come in here and be boring and just say, "Oh, I think this is the best chance."
You're known for being boring, Jason. You're known
in the interest of creating a bit of fucking entertaining content. Sorry,
there's nothing wrong with short price winners.
Well, that's true, but in the interest of my role on Rapid Fire, which is to also create a bit of fucking humour, Nature Strip, I'm saying, is GAWN. Max gone. Finished. It's got to come eventually. I'm saying it's this run. Got to fucking pack it in eventually, doesn't he? I'm going to go against him here. I think you might get a pretty good price. I reckon you'll get 7 to 4 on the fair. I'm going to go with 2-bet strategy here. I don't love straight racing, to be honest. So it won't be unloading or anything like that. But first, top pick for me is Marabi. She's only been beaten once in her career. Group 1 Oakley Plate winner. Just a lovely speed machine. She's jumped out incredibly well. And I like it that they didn't take her to Flemington on Friday for a look down the straight, even though some would say, that's a negative. I think they just kept her super fresh for the 1,000 here. I think she camps right on the speed and can give a kick and will be right in it. I think she's a really nice each way bet. And the other one I want to be on is Bonus Notches. Really surprised it's $15. I think it's drawn really well. It could be in the right spot. A lot of the speed's on the inside. If the outside's better, it could just really blend into the race well. AAA jockey change C. Newitt to C. Williams. And I think C. Williams would have had the choice of Bella Nipotina as well, which is interesting. So I think it's also a play. I'm going to back those two. It's a super Lightning. I Wish I Win is flying. Going to be interesting to see how it goes, but I just figured it wouldn't be able to keep up early and would be motoring home. And I'm against Nature Strip and Coolangatta.
John.
Yeah, who do you think leads? Do you think they cross it? Do you think they cross it in 1? Because if he cross it in 1, then I think he's in a lot of trouble.
I think they come down the middle, don't they, at this time of the day?
He still would be forced back to the inside, you know what I mean? Like, is he going to get crossed or is he going to camp behind? I guess it's not as big a deal if they do go down the ground. But
if he does get crossed, you start sort of moving diagonal to going sideways to try and get it clear running. So I don't think it's ideal. I mean, 1 stinks down the straight. History says that.
Exactly.
You can win, but it's not ideal.
The Marabai, the first 30 days, I know it jumped out well, hasn't been down the straight. That scares me enough to be away from it. I'm not a Coolangatta fan. And then you're running out of 1,000-metre horses. Even Rockin' Horse has not really got 1,000-metre form, but does look like it will be okay. I come back to the horse you sort of made as the query runner. I Wish I Win. I'm interested to see which way it goes in betting. I thought they say it's going to be trained more to be kept to 1,200 metres this prep, and its trial was very good, and I think the straight allows it to settle closer than it probably would around a bend. So if I'd speculate on the race, it'd be on it. But, the race doesn't quite make sense to me. I think Bonus Notch is a bit in the same boat. It's probably going to get a bit far off them over 1,000 to be super confident, and that was what probably put me off it. But the lower draw for I Wish I Win. I don't think it'll be too far away from Nature Strip in the run.
Okay.
I think if you like I Wish I Win, back it in the Newmarket before Saturday because it'll run enormous in the Newmarket.
Okay, so I'm with the favourite. Look, I'm obviously a tough race. I'm sort of closer to the 11-8, 6-4 mark though for it. I don't think it leads. I think that maybe Marabai or Coolangatta lead, and Nature Strip tucks in behind. But that's just on my map anyway. Away from the favourite, look, second pick for me is Rockin' Horse. Third pick, Bella Nipotina. There's very little in between these, by the way. Coolangatta and then Marabai. I'm just a little bit against Marabai because of the days off, the 330 days off, and just even though I've sort of rated up to its best, I've been pretty kind to it in terms of what I've penalised it for fitness. So could be easily wrong, but look, for me, it's the favourite, but wouldn't want to be betting unless I got at least 6-4 or better.
I reckon you'll get it too. I'm with Jason there. I think they'll
yeah.
risk it, and it's like if looking at your rating kind of wise, if it runs to its sort of lower end, they've still got to run to their best, haven't they? So,
well, I'm sort of forecasting that it's only going to run what it did first up last prep, and for me, it's rating adjusted first up last prep, and its closing run last preparation are virtually identical, and those ratings are probably at least 2 links or more off its absolute best. So I've only got it going to that level. So
which is still good enough to pretty much win. To be starting like you're saying 10-9, whatever it is.
Yeah. To start favourite. But for me, 6-4 is where I'd be wanting to. That's the price I'm looking for before I start thinking about backing it. Okay, let's get on to Sydney, of course. At where are we? Light Fingers?
Rosehill.
No, Silver Slipper. No, I knew where it was. I just
have they inducted the early race starting times yet, or are they going to do that? Or I saw them talking about extreme heat, and I don't know whether they've changed it, but I think we'll end up with a pretty firm track, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it's a nice firm and fair track, which will bring the punters out. Okay, so let's talk about the Silver Slipper, John. What do we got? The favourite there, I'm guessing, is probably around about 7-4, 2-1 or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's been a decent move for the horse that I thought was sort of the value, but crikey, it's gone right off now. $270 around for King's Gambit, $380, $4 are the best around, or $441 place Cylinder. It's the horse that's been very well backed. Out to $460, $480 is Platinum Jubilee, and then you're out to sort of Madeira Sunrise at the $8 mark, same as Mumbai Muse, $13 Fire Lane, and that's about it. So in the betting, so interesting move for Cylinder, $6 or more yesterday into $4 now. Yeah,
what do you think about that, John? You think that's a bit short?
I actually really liked it, as in around the $6 mark. I thought we'd probably get better. That's what's confused me. I thought it had trialled a lot better this time in its form last time. Sort of looked 1,000-meter horse that last run. What was it? How's the form sort of stack up around all that? But it sort of held up Fire Lane the first start, and then Little Bros is not a bad horse. So I just think this horse has come back improved. In Gate 1 gave it its chance to sort of tag in behind them and be very hard to beat. But $3.80, I never thought I'd sort of see that. I didn't think it'd be short. I actually thought King's Gambit would be extremely well backed here.
I suppose it's early doors, isn't it, in terms of the actual real betting. Look, for me, I'm with the favourite. I think it deserves to be top pick clearly. Obviously, we've been the winner come out and trial again this morning and go like a jet. So it'll be interesting to see what impact that has, if any, on the market here. I think you've got to forgive it just simply because of its SP first up, and its previous form would trot this in. But look, with any sort of improvement, I think the favourite's the one to beat. And I don't have much between Cylinder and Platinum Jubilee for second pick, probably a roll of the board. But for me, the favourite's the only one I could back, but be wanting a fair track. Anyway, what about you, Jason?
Not a lot to add. I was Cylinder and King's Gambit as well. I'm surprised Cylinders is short. that cylinder run, I just note when it ran second, Little Bros, it played up massively in the gates as well, which you might not see on the replay. So we're excuses for it that day. I think Mumbai Muse will be a nice horse. Watching its replay, just looks a bit immature. I'm not sure it's going to be ready for Saturday. But if King's Gambit gets out to a silly price, you sort of have to back it on SP profile and principle in a way if it parades okay.
Indeed. Okay, let's get on to the Millie Fox over 1,300 metres, fillies and mares, set weights and penalties. They're seeing the return again of Maramia, who, God bless it, did a good job last time. John, what do you say here with the market?
Yeah, it's very open away from it, isn't it? It's like even money, basically, Maria Mia, and then around the $10 mark for Electric Girl, Expat resuming, Roots resuming, Catlin resuming, all around that $10 mark, and Pavitra resuming. So market's finding it difficult to find a second pick clearly, and Maria Mia is dominating currently.
Yeah, what do you have to say about the race, John?
Yeah, I think it's nothing. It's not an exciting betting race, but it does seem to find itself pretty clearly. Maria Mia draws wide, but will punch forward. Fitness edge over most of these horses. I'd be surprised if it couldn't get past the Expat, and then probably the horse that sits on them's Electric Girl. Interesting, they've put Zach Lloyd on it first up. It probably looks the clear main threat just to sit behind them if it is ready to go. Hawks, I always find very difficult to gauge. Their sense of timing. Their horses fresh for me are probably the hardest to judge. So I think it's the clear horse to beat Maria Mia. Is it a horse that I want to chime in at $2 about? Not really. Probably looked just as good a bet last start at much better odds. But it is very well set up here, and Electric Girl's the only horse that I could probably back to beat it if I had a push from the stable or something like that, because I want to see some confidence in it before I could back it.
Yeah, I mean, Maria Mia to me is a horse that's really improved, 4 or 5 lengths since Joe Pride's had it on his previous prep. So it's the horse to beat. Clearly, I don't think there's any spoil in the price. I've got it longer than the market, but I do still have it a clear top pick. And I thought really the only danger for me would be Catalan first up. And look, I don't know where it's going to get to on the map. It might just get too far back, but it's the one I'm interested in, I suppose, at current prices, if it was to hold that support and, parade well, and the track being fair enough for it, but certainly not something I'd be getting into right now. Jason?
Yeah, I mean, TC, barrier 10, short run to the first turn, the 1,300 metre at Rosehill. So you'd think he'd just do what TC does and slide across and easily cross Expat. It's who's right inside it. It should have too much early speed for it. I went looking for Electric Girl, but it's got no trial first up, which is interesting. So it makes me think they're thinking about things in April. I went looking for Roots. I think she could even be the best horse in this race. The second trial, I thought it was an average trial. Looked average. And Catalan's I like as a fresh horse only, but it just doesn't win. So I really tried hard to get Maria Mia beat because I think it's a bit short, but it just does look like it's going to get control and be one of those Rosehill winners that you just think after the race, oh, God, that was a moral, and why didn't I back it?
Yeah, it's when you could throw in a multi or something, but it's hard. It'd be hard to unload on it for me at even money, but it just looks the winner by default.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the Catalan's a non-winner though, Jason. I mean, it had some excuses last prep, didn't it? In a number of those runs where it was sort of trapped deep.
Okay. Well, non-winner could be harsh. It has a pattern that doesn't always fill you with a lot of confidence. It often needs a lot of things to go right. Get a good suck run, favours in run, good speed.
It's definitely a first up horse though. Like that is one thing you touched on.
Yeah. Well, its record says five first up starts, 3 wins, 2/3. So
yeah, I just thought it might represent the value if the favourite was to hold that current sort of 230 mark. It could be one worth playing if it's ready, and obviously the yard watchers and the people who are and Betfair will tell us a lot too late. So could be an interest for me. That's all. Okay, let's get on to the Hobartville over 1400, 3-year-olds. And this is another short price favourite here, our Cabin.
Yeah, another not so exciting race, I don't think. I'll be surprised. $1.60 Af Cabin, another wide draw for Timmy. He's a very popular man in the quaddie. I think he's on 3 of the 4 favourites there. Osipenko $7.50, $8 Zoo Tiger, $11 for Pier, or $13 around for Pier. It's the New Zealand Raider, and then I think there's only one other under 20 to 1, which is Communist, $17. Very stifled betting market once again.
Oh, favourite just wins just about, doesn't it? I know it's short, but
it's great to see Timmy on it.
Yeah, it was a bit of a. I think he was at the old dual booking for hitting Golden Mile, and then they removed the Golden Mile part. I think Clippo was going to ride it, and then they decided to split them up. So I don't know how Timmy got the ride. Obviously, James is down in Melbourne, but yeah, pleasant surprise for sure. I think now it's drawn wide, they'll be happy he's on it.
He deserves it. It's great. I'll go first. Geez, $1.50. It's even hard to put in a multi, but
is that the best price at the moment, John? $1.50.
165. Yeah, 165.
Yeah, most are $1.50, but but you can go. I think top is 165. I just thought Osipenko here, barrier 1, they'd be more positive on it. This is really D-Day for it. If they're serious about Randwick Guineas, it has to run really well here in this race. I would hope they'll do the switcheroo and go to the Australian Guineas. That's what I'm praying on for the $17 I'm on. It's still available, and Sportsbet have futures insurance, everyone. So I recommend you go down there and back it because it stinks a lot of switching it. I'm going to back Osipenko the place. He can get $2.30. That's my bet in the race. I think it'll run well. A much improved race here. But it is D-Day for it. It was wide and still ran on last start, but I do think it really needs to stand up tomorrow because there are a lot of horses outside Af Cabin that you could say are going okay. Machelado trialled well. Communist and Brosnan were good first up. Zoo Tiger's obviously got a big rap on it. There's his Kiwi horse. Who knows what to do with that? So he'd want to be running top 3 here to be a player in the order, Osipenko.
John?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. As in Af Cabin, completely by default. It should have more upside on it, or as much upside as anything going forward. Af Cabin that came out of that race, obviously, I don't know what the heck that ride was from Nash on Osipenko. I don't know whether the horse was hard to handle or whether Nash was struggling to handle it for whatever reason. It's the horse that can certainly improve significantly, potentially. Other, talented horses in the race just won't be ready, like Manzois, Prometo. Communist certainly had its chance, even though it went nicely first up to get near Af Cabin, and it didn't. Brosnan the same. Very difficult to see any of those horses reversing the placing there. Machelado the same, like a talented horse, and Zoo Tiger's he's just not in the same class, you wouldn't say, as Af Cabin. So I think he'll get away with it most likely, but I do see plenty of upside in your play of Osipenko the place. I'd rather take 230 the place Osipenko personally as well, just because it's Rosehill and the gate that it's drawn, and think it's a better bet than taking 160 the favourite, but I think it'll win.
Yeah, well, for me, clearly it's all about the favourite. I couldn't possibly back anything else to beat it. So stand out for me.
What price have you got marked the favourite, Paul?
Oh, look, I don't think it's too early to start talking prices. I mean, we've got to see what Saturday morning brings.
It's too early. It's too early.
Too early?
Can you book Jason in there? What time is it? What time can we start talking about prices?
Let's not. We can start talking about prices if I decide to have a bet.
That's $1.18. He's got it.
You ever seen that bloke on sports that Jules fella? And I always thought that he lived in the tanning booth. PD's nearly got him covered now.
I definitely don't. I definitely don't have it at $1.18.
Are you putting fake tan on or what, or is that natural?
That's natural, mate. It's called going to the beach twice a day, and
people are calling you Jules Valance, mate, the man with the tan. They're calling you.
It's pretty good down here. You just got to pop out the front door and stroll across the road and you're on the beach, sort of thing. So
it'd be different to where you were. There weren't many beaches around there. You were in Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood Forest.
Previously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose best bets, guys. What about that?
Oh,
What are we?
They're all
5 to 4 all ups. What are we doing? We're getting about 3 to 1 the all up.
so I think Flemington's a tough day. It's one of those days at Flemington where you should try and look for value. Pretty open fields. Look, I wouldn't say any best bets. I think what we've covered, I've sort of given some opinions, but no standouts there.
Yeah, there's some interesting horses. There's some interesting other races, isn't there, on the program? John, have you got anything to add?
What did you guys think of race 10 at Rosehill?
What?
Not full thing, but did you like something in race 10?
Well, look, Jason and I back Midwest last time.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
we were standing
you're cursing in my ear.
Casino there, and I just remember the ride. He didn't do too much wrong, but he's just when he pulled the stick.
He did get beat by Maria Mia in his defence.
That's it.
I know. But we were on it for a bit of money that day, and a lot of people were saying that they didn't think it was an 1,100 metre horse, and I actually had its best figure over 1,100. So, yeah. Anyway,
TC's a good jockey for it.
It looks extremely well placed, similar to Maria Mia. It's going to be in the right spot.
It'll get its chance, I suppose.
Will TC be watching this, Johnny? TC watch our show?
Mate, if in the bath, he jumps in the bath and normally watches it, only because
he's $1.10 for the Jockeys Challenge on Saturday.
And I told him yesterday, I said, the only one I want to back of his is the one in race 7. His favourite for the last 3 legs of the quarter. I want to back You Spirit at $23 because I think that's more his go when he's got the gate 1, 25 to 1.
Just in relation to that last race at Rosehill, I mean, what do you say about Easy Single? I mean, it's got that 1,000 metre run at Flemington last prep, which would rate well and truly very competitive for this. I know it's not up the straight. John, what did you?
Well, it's going to work forward. Is it like 1,100 metres first up, sitting outside speed? Is going to test that horse. You would think, because as you said, I'd expect Midwest to be stronger than it from a similar position. So I find it difficult to see it winning the race. I thought, a Stalker was more dangerous, like an Andermatt or something, but it seemed short enough too on a dry track with an apprentice on. So and Coat the same. I thought it was only playing the other day, had pretty much every chance. Quick Tempo is going to give them 10, same as Kiss Some, and they're probably the 2 best closers that are going to give 8-length start. So I think Timmy's got plenty in his favour on Saturday if the horse holds the form that it's been showing, and they seem to have worked it out. They run it once every 4 or 5 weeks, and it seems to be holding its form really well.
It's what Kote does with 52. He's probably going to be aggressive, isn't he?
Yeah, which I don't think bothers Midwest. It's drawn absolutely perfect to either sit right behind or take it up depending on what they decide to do. So I think it ticks most of the boxes, and said all the main dangers are going to be giving a big start.
Well, punters, that's it for this week. Hopefully we'll get you a winner, and we're still ruining Gentleman Roy last week. At least I am, and that was sick. It wasn't a great day, put it that way.
I couldn't. Everyone's got their own opinions. I didn't have a bet in the race. Had no opinion in the race, but I just, growing up, I don't know whether it's right or wrong. That protest would just not have been upheld my whole life on a racetrack. I was kind of in shock when it was.
That'll make PD feel better.
No protest payout for me. Okay, we'll see you next week.
Boys. See you, everyone.
Hang on, we've got to find the outro. We've got the new outro. Good luck, guys.
See ya.